For years, we've been thinking about humans and AI all wrong. We've always seen our role as this simple safety net, a final check before the machine's work goes live. But that model, it's breaking, and it's breaking fast. Today, we're going to dig into how the human in the loop is evolving from a frustrating bottleneck into the very engine of AI performance. Just let that number sink in for a second. By 2026, which is basically tomorrow, a staggering 80% of businesses are going to be using generative AI. This isn't some far-off prediction. It's happening at a pace none of us have ever really seen before. But, and this is a big but, there's a huge, expensive catch. And here it is. Here's the kicker. For all that cash, for all that hype, roughly half of all AI projects never actually make it. That's right, half. They get stuck in the prototype phase, they fail to deliver real value, or they just get shelved completely. It's like we're in a gold rush, but half the miners are coming back with empty pockets. So what is going on here, right? With all this brain power, all this money being pumped into AI, where is all that value just disappearing? Why are so many brilliant teams struggling to turn all that potential into actual, tangible results? This is what we can call the AI adoption paradox. See, on one hand, you've got this insane speed and investment pushing everything forward. But on the other hand, you've got this massive failure rate and a huge mess of governance problems pulling everything back. And these two forces are creating a major headache for pretty much everyone. So what's really at the heart of this paradox? Well, it's often not the AI itself. The real problem, a lot of the time, is how we're trying to manage it. The very human loop we designed for safety has ironically become the single biggest bottleneck, grinding everything to a halt and stopping AI from ever reaching its full potential. Okay, so let's break down the old way of doing things. We'll call it HITL 1.0. The idea was super simple. An AI suggests something, and a person has to manually sign off before it can go live. And look, that worked just fine when AI was simpler, dealing with smaller amounts of data. But with today's generative AI pumping out content at an unbelievable scale, that old model has completely fallen apart. And this breakdown creates four huge problems. First up, the review bottleneck. The AI is moving at light speed, but the humans are stuck in a massive traffic jam, which completely kills the AI's speed advantage. Second, responsibility confusion. An error slips through, so who's to blame? The AI, the reviewer, nobody knows. And that leads to this false sense of confidence, right? We just check a box that says human reviewed, but all we're really doing is hiding the problems. And finally, what do you think happens? Rubber stamping. Reviewers get so buried, they just start clicking approve, approve, approve without really even looking. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. This whole idea of review everything isn't a safety feature. It's a fundamental design flaw. It's the very thing that suffocates the value you're trying to create. It just leads to burnout and actually makes the human oversight less effective, right when you need it the most. And this disconnect is creating a real danger inside so many organizations. Look at this. Almost a third of C-suite executives are dreaming of a fully autonomous AI future. But talk to the people on the front lines, the ones actually doing the work, and only 17% think that's even realistic. They see the huge oversight challenges that the boardroom seems to be completely missing. This perception gap is exactly why the old model is failing and why we so urgently need a new one. So if the old model is broken, what's the solution? Well, it requires a complete shift in how we think about this. So welcome to HITL 2.0. It's a brand new approach that transforms the human loop from a brake pedal into a gas pedal. This right here is the critical mindset shift. HITL 1.0 was a passive safety net, basically just sitting there hoping to catch mistakes. HITL 2.0 is an active, dynamic performance system. It's designed to make the entire human AI team faster, smarter, and way more accountable. Okay, so this new system is built on four really powerful pillars that fix the failures of the old model. We've got decision tiering, trigger-based intervention, clear role clarity, and intelligent feedback loops. Let's walk through each one. So the first pillar is decision tiering, and this is all about realizing that AI autonomy isn't just an on or off switch. It's a spectrum. Think of it like driving a car, right? Sometimes you're fully in control, steering yourself. Sometimes you flip on cruise control, and sometimes you might even let the car park itself. You match the level of autonomy to the risk and complexity of the situation. Next up, trigger-based intervention. This is where we get really smart about where we focus our attention. Instead of making humans review everything, they only step in when a specific, predefined trigger goes off. Maybe the AI's confidence score drops below a certain point, a risk threshold is crossed, or some weird anomaly is detected. This saves our valuable human brainpower for the moments that actually, truly matter. Pillar number 3, role clarity, is the perfect antidote to that responsibility confusion we were just talking about. This is about defining, with absolute precision, who does what. Who is the operator monitoring the system day to day? Who has the final say to approve a high-stakes decision? And who owns the overall policies? See, when everyone knows their job, you get real accountability. And this final pillar, this is what makes the whole system intelligent: feedback loops. In HITL 2.0, when a human corrects the AI, it's not seen as a failure, not at all. It's treated as a valuable piece of data. This feedback then gets plugged back into the system to fine-tune the AI model, adjust the triggers, and make the whole process smarter and smarter over time. The loop doesn't just check the work, it learns from it. So when you put these 4 pillars together, something really powerful starts to happen. You enable this fundamental evolution in how your organization governs AI. It's a journey, really, that takes you from being constantly stuck in the loop to strategically managing everything from above the loop. This really shows the maturity curve. You start at HITL 1.0, micromanaging every little output. But as you implement this new system, you evolve to human on the loop, where you're monitoring the system and only jumping in when there's an exception. But the end goal? That's human above the loop. Your role becomes strategic. You set the policy, you design the architecture, and you let a mature, well-governed system do all the heavy lifting. And why is this evolution so incredibly critical? Well, the data is pretty clear. While a lot of tasks are still either just for humans or just for machines, the real engine of value, the sweet spot, is in that 30% of tasks where humans and machines absolutely must collaborate. And HITL 2.0 is basically the operating system for that crucial collaborative zone. So what's the practical, achievable goal for all of us in the near future? It's not total hands-off autonomy. It's something much smarter, called bounded autonomy. We want to empower our AI agents to act independently where the outcomes are stable and predictable, while also making sure we have a structured way for humans to step in the second that risk and uncertainty start to creep up. Okay, we've diagnosed the problem, and we've laid out the new framework. Now for the most important part. How do you actually put this into practice? Let's wrap this up with a clear, actionable plan. Here are 5 things you can literally start doing right now. 1. Build out your autonomy tiers before you try to scale. 2. Define your intervention triggers in actual written-down policy, not just based on who happens to know what. 3. Instrument your review outcomes so you can capture all that valuable feedback data. 4. Actively get rid of any review everything process you find. It's a productivity killer. And 5. Audit your HITL effectiveness every quarter. You have to make sure your safety net isn't slowly turning into a cage. And this brings us to the final and most crucial takeaway. The debate is over. Humans are staying in the loop. The real question we all need to be asking ourselves now is a design question. Is the loop we've built designed to make our people truly effective or just present? Are they adding their unique human judgment, or are they just their rubber stamping to keep the line moving? That is the challenge and, honestly, the massive opportunity of HITL 2.0.